distinguished members of the Security Council, distinguished representatives. Let me start by thanking you, Madam President, for this opportunity to brief the Council on the latest unfolding developments in Kosovo. Almost 1 year ago, 2 agreements were reached in Brussels on 27th of February and in Ohrid on 18th of March, setting forth a pathway toward negotiations and mutual engagement. However, with disagreement on the sequencing of the implementation, progress was stalled. Subsequent developments, such as the by-elections in 4 municipalities in northern Kosovo, resulting in mayors elected by barely 3.47% of eligible voters, the ensuing clashes around those municipality buildings on the 29th of May that resulted in significant injuries to civilians and to 93 KFOR personnel, and the serious security incident in Banjska on the 24th of September, still under investigation, that led to fatalities, were serious setbacks. Despite some positive momentum that re-emerged at the end of last year, with progress achieved over vehicle license plates, the energy roadmap, customs documentation, and the participation of the Kosovo Serbs in the initiation of the referendum to recall the mayors, unilateral actions on issues that clearly fall within the political dialogue process and its governing agreements are cause for great concern. Regardless which side takes them and what justifications are provided, and in the absence of unambiguous public communications, such actions predictably exacerbate an environment of insecurity and mistrust. Madam President, recently, on the 27th of December 2023, the Central Board of Kosovo adopted a regulation and announced that, as of 1st of February 2024, the only currency allowed for cash transactions in Kosovo will be the euro. Limited public explanation was offered, despite the fact that since 1999, the dinar has served as the de facto primary currency for cash and commercial transactions in Kosovo's Serb majority areas. Tens of thousands of individuals are affected, as is the economy, which depends upon their purchasing power. More specifically, the regulation interrupts the payment to individuals employed by Serbian-funded institutions in Kosovo, certain agricultural and social welfare subsidies, and recipients of pensions, small and medium-scale businesses, health and education services, including childcare, will also be severely affected, as they have for long also used to receive their funds from Serbia. This decision, particularly as related to the short deadline of its entry into force and the affected individuals' future access to basic economic and social services, became a matter of concern for local communities and international interlocutors. Subsequently, and in response to the obvious concerns this has raised, the Kosovo authorities on the 6th of February announced a transitional period of 1 month for implementation, accompanied by a communications campaign. Yet, not all concerns seems to be addressed regarding the cash flow in dinars, as a cash transfer truck was prevented entry into Kosovo on the 7th of February, while 4 million dinars confiscated by the Kosovo police on the 3rd of February in Pejapeć municipality still awaits judicial and administrative actions. Madam President, as highlighted by many international partners, such issues under the Brussels Agreement in 2013 and 2015, in which the association community of Serb majority municipalities in Kosovo was decided upon. I would like to reiterate, Madam President, that actions, regardless of their legality and justification, must take into consideration their impact on affected population. Otherwise, such actions not only increase tensions, but also weaken the potential for lasting peace and security across all communities in Kosovo. In the spirit of conflict prevention, more should be done to win the hearts and minds of non-majority communities. Madam President, on 26th of January and 2nd of February, Kosovo police conducted operations targeting facilities used by the Serbian non-majority communities in the municipalities of Dragaš, Pejapeć, Kline Klina, and Istok Istok, as well as a community health center in Pristina. The Kosovo police announced that in all 4 municipal locations, various documents were seized, buildings were sealed, staff were taken into custody for questioning and later released. Also, during an earlier police operation in Pejapeć on the 2nd of January, a team of journalists from Goraž Devac, the only Kosovo Serbian media outlet in that region, reported being stopped and searched despite having presented valid press credentials. As you know, Madam President, UNMIK and our main partners place the highest importance upon ensuring the freedom of the media and the freedom of expression at all times. Madam President, neither the Central Bank of Kosovo's news regulations nor these recent Kosovo police operations have contributed to de-escalation as repeatedly called for by international interlocutors. In that regard, I cannot overstate the critical deterrent role KFOR continues to play on the ground today. Madam President, in all my statements, including the latest on the 6th of February, I reaffirm the importance of upholding the rule of law, free from political influence, and also reiterated that all related actions must be anchored in the principles of human rights. I will continue to call on both Pristina and Belgrade to engage actively and in good faith in the EU-facilitated dialogue as the venue for tackling the most sensitive policy issues that affect the communities. It is crucial that efforts towards negotiated and mutually accepted solutions do not falter. Continuous effort to build greater mutual trust and respect are the only viable path to stability, prosperity, and security. Madam President, history has repeatedly shown that just solutions do not emerge from unilateral actions, but rather from a sustained and painstaking commitment to open communication and dialogue. We will continue our efforts to encourage all stakeholders to prioritize trust and building it, not only at the grassroots level, but at all levels, including between communities and institutions. Trust develops only in an atmosphere that fosters mutual respect, open communication, fairness, and both the perception and the reality of equal treatment. In closing, let us remember again that the only acceptable path ahead is one that is grounded in dialogue and compromise, embraces human rights, and ensures the equitable application of the rule of law. I can assure you, Madam President, that UNMIK remains committed to providing good officers towards this ultimate goal. And I thank you for your attention.